Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a Q&A video leading up to the mid-season premiere for The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 9, No Way Out. First question from this one comes from All-Pro Carpet Care, and he wanted to ask me, what is the most hyped episode of The Walking Dead thus far? Is it still No Santcuary, or is it now No Way Out? And not really spoiler warning, I'll keep this one spoiler free, but just a heads up, guys, there's all kinds of spoilery stuff hitting online now. There's pictures and some different things like that of certain characters, and there's just all kinds of stuff. There's summaries of the episode, things like that. I thus far have avoided them, which I'm happy to have done because I want to get that fresh experience for you guys when we do the review after. Want it to be legit, don't want it to be spoiled or ruined in too much. Some of it's been spoiled already for me, but I don't want to know the entire summary of the episode. So heads up, guys, lots of stuff out there right now. So I thought this was a good question to lead with. Which one has been more hyped for me, and do I think has been more hyped for the fan base, for the community of Walking Dead fans out there, deadheads, so to speak? Yeah, so for this one, No Santcuary, I would say, is still the most hyped episode ever, the episode that people were looking forward to the most. No Way Out is... I mean, it's hype, don't get me wrong, but a lot of it's been spoiled, a lot of it's been leaked, and because a lot of it's been spoiled or leaked, I feel like people aren't as excited for it because they're not sure, they're not in that state where they don't know what's going to happen. A lot of people know the story, they know what's going to happen in the premiere episode, episode 9 of this half season. So it's not quite as hyped as No Santcuary, for me anyway, because No Santcuary, we didn't really know as much. Like, we knew some things from the trailer. We were able to break down certain things, and I did a video, things you missed, and we talked about how Carol was wearing the zombie guts and everything like that, and we saw some different things after we broke it down and analyzed it a good number of times. But this one, No Way Out, a lot of it's been leaked online, spoilers. So, and plus the comic book series version, we know what happens there. So with Terminus, there was no Terminus in the comic book series, so I'd added a little bit more to it. So for me, my answer for you is that I think No Santcuary is still the episode to beat in terms of hype, and I don't think No Way Out is going to beat it in terms of viewership. But I could be wrong. Let's wait and see which gets more views. Even though it seems like the show should grow and get more views as we go, because it's just, I mean, it's so good in terms of quality. More people are watching it, I think, versus people that are stopping watching it or quitting. So yeah, there's that one. Next one's from the Robot, and he says, "Am I the only one who likes Father Gabriel?" Yeah, yeah, you are. I heard about you. I didn't think you existed, but yeah, you're pretty much. No, I mean, there's a few people who like Father Gabriel, but not many. He's not all that useful, to be honest. Next one's from Defuse, and he says, "Trev, with the season 6 finale not that far off." Not that far off. No way out. Okay. How do you think casual viewers of the TV series with no idea of what's coming next how do you think they will react to Negan? Not just his first appearance scene, but also his general character and feel. Thanks, man. Well, that's going to be crazy to see at the end of the season how people react to him, because during issue 100, I mean, it blew away everybody. It blew me away. That was probably the most shocking issue I've ever read of a comic book series. Even, well, I don't know. They had the recent one too with Alpha and that, which was huge too, and you had a lot of deaths there, not just one. But issue 100 had one huge one. So I think people are going to be shocked, and I think coming off of that, season 7's premiere should be the most viewed episode they've ever done. If it isn't, I would be a little bit worried about the longevity of the show, because Negan being an appearance in the finale, there should be a huge character death with that, and should be one of the main ones, should be one of the the original ones. So we'll see what happens, but yeah, I think it's only gonna boost it. I don't think it's gonna hurt it. Similar to Game of Thrones, when they kill off fan favorite characters and people think it's gonna hurt the show, it usually tends to boost it afterwards, which I think we'll see in the premiere for our season 7. Next one's from Latina, and she says, "Hey Trev, I love your videos. Keep up the good work. My questions are, do you think that in Fear the Walking Dead, we will see the main character Travis being killed off eventually as a way to try the Game of Thrones approach? And do you think that is why Madison is such a strong character, so she can take over? I'd love to hear your thoughts." So that was initially my theory. I don't know if you were watching the channel at that time, Latina, but that was initially my theory, that Travis was going to get killed off in the first season at the finale. I thought that was going to happen, then she was going to take over as the main lead, because she's such a strong character. Didn't end up working out that way. Was a little bit surprised with the death they went with. But I thought the finale of Fear the Walking Dead was awesome too, and I'm excited to see what they do with it in the future. Now I'm almost thinking they might go more with like the Breaking Bad approach, where you have Travis start out as a really kind of weak survivor and then become really crazy and badass at the end, even more so than Rick. Because Rick's transition was pretty quick at the beginning, but with regards to killing others, it was a little bit delayed, I guess, until he kind of had to season 2. Yeah, well, when it was required, So I guess we can't really say it was that delayed. I mean, it was there when it needed to be. Next one's from Giggle Bear, and here she says, "Hey Trev, how's it going? I thought that since Merle died from the main villain at the time, Philip or Brian Blake / Governor, that another Dixon could die at the hands of the new villain Negan. What do you think, Giggle Bear?" So, yeah, that's the lead. I'll do a theory video on this one probably this weekend and break down. I've got a list of things that kind of point to that as him being a likely choice for the finale. Of course, we don't know for sure, and we might not even find out till season 7. But because if they have that as the last scene and they show it as point of view, then we might not even know, who it is that Negan kills in the finale if they do it that way. But yeah, it seems like it's going to be pretty big and it's going to be pretty exciting. So we'll see if it's him, or if it's somebody else, if it's Glenn or Morgan, or we'll see. We still don't know for sure, but I've got some stuff coming for you guys about that looks at that. And some of the stuff that's been released in quite a bit of detail all gathered together. So that's coming probably this weekend or next week. Next one's from Alpha Wolf, and he says, "Hey Trev, love the vids, man. How are there so many survivors? If you don't have a farm where you grow your food, how can you scavenge when everything has already gone bad? Is this a plot hole AMC just didn't cover? Thanks for the response. Keep up the amazing work, brother." Well, there are groups like the Wolves, for example, that had a really tough time and they barely were alive. I mean, they were barely surviving. They had seemingly pretty much nothing, and they pretty much survived off of taking from other groups. So there are groups like that have kind of vampired off other ones in order to survive themselves. And so I think that makes sense in terms of them that are just really tough people that are not willing to give up, add to their ranks, and kind of overthrow other groups to take all their stuff and then survive off of it. I'm not sure how long you can eat expired food for, but there's certain canned foods and stuff that you could probably eat for years later, and as long as you're smart enough, I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of goods out there. If you went to a Walmart, let's say, and you took the place over and you were able to lock it down so no one else was able to get in and zombies didn't give you trouble, you could probably live off the stuff in there for, I would say, at least probably, especially the canned food section in that, maybe expired cereal and stuff. I mean, you'd have people getting sick and stuff too when you eat something, because it's hard to know unless you have like an internet line and you're able to like Google stuff. How long can you eat expired, I don't know, Fruit Loops for? But probably not that long. But I mean, people are pretty resourceful, and if worst comes to worst, I'm sure people can find some ways, because you got to consider too how many people are out there, like the population, right? And we're looking at just little small pockets of groups, so we're not looking at that many. There are seasons where it seems like there shouldn't be so many survivors. Season 3 maybe is a season where there shouldn't be, because there seems to be survivors like all over the place in season 3. Like even when they're driving down a road randomly, they see like some random guy in that. But there would be, I mean, there would be a lot, because a lot of people would be able to maybe run away from zombies or hide or fight them off and just make it, as long as they can and do their thing. Because zombies in The Walking Dead, they're not that fast, right? If you're dealing with fast zombies, more like Z Nation or World War Z or 28 Days Later, okay, now I would be very surprised if there's hardly any groups out there. But with slow zombies, I mean, if you can avoid them, you'd be all right, as long as you don't get trapped like Nicholas and Glenn. And we'll do like one more or two more. Next one's from Lykeos Cooper Gaming. He says, "Hey Trev, love your videos. I was wondering where you got your big figures of Daryl, Morgan, etc. in the background." So to answer your question, those are customs. I don't really collect. They have the deluxe scale McFarlane, which are statues that don't really, or they're kind of, he calls them figures, but they're more like statues. They have very limited movement, which is called articulation. Those of you guys who don't collect, figures and stuff like that, because I'm really geeky and I love this stuff. So they don't have much. So I haven't actually been buying those, even though they're a really good price point, because I have these and I don't want to switch or add in another scale. It's just too many different sizes of the same thing. It doesn't make sense for me. But yeah, those are custom and they cost quite a bit to put together. And I've kind of stopped with those. I think Morgan might be the last one I'll do. I wanted to upgrade my governor because he's not the greatest. Maybe get a better body for him, a trench coat, or like the gun he uses in the season 3 finale, that type of deal, which is pretty cool. But after that, I might be done. They've got a head for a Beth you can put together, but I never felt compelled to spend $150, $200 to put together a Beth figure in that size. Just not going to do it. So maybe maybe I could do some other, but again, it's expensive, so I've kind of steered away from it. And we'll make the last one from Antonio821. He says, Hey Trev, question. Season 6, Episode 6, in the beginning, do you think that was the Saviors who were shooting at Daryl, Sasha, and Abraham? Yes, it was. It seems like, and the reason why I put this in there, even though it's kind of an obvious question for those of you guys who already know this, most of you probably do. But the reason why I put this in there is because it seems like to me, they accidentally, as they were bringing the herd away, they accidentally went too far and they veered into the Savior's territory. The whole Breaking Bad, stay out of my territory, thing. If you've ever seen Breaking Bad, you'll understand. Heisenberg's awesome. But yeah, it seems like they kind of went into their territory accidentally, and they didn't know that they were there. And that Dwight and the other two women were kind of trying to run away, and they were kind of waiting to ambush them because they figured they'd catch them. And then, of course, even after they run into this other part, so they've really gotten into the Savior's neck of the woods now. And I think that's why they're running into so many of them. They've wandered too far. No, I can't say too far gone. Well, I always try to include too far gone every time. They've gone too far out, and they've run into the Savior's territory. So stay out of their territory. Anyway. But it's too late now, so we'll see what happens. Unless there's some rocket launcher action. It'll be fun. So, let me know what you guys think about all these different questions. Keep sending me your questions. Only got a few more days now. And write your comments below, guys. I cannot wait for Sunday. I'm so excited. If you like this video, you can thumb it up below. You can share a favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video today, guys. I'll see you again probably tomorrow. As always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace.